Welcome back to the Hoopstemple podcast. Y'all know me, Nathan Schwartz, but I thought we would mix things up a little bit. I'm just going to leave my guest hanging here. Our co host was hanging because I thought we always do our plugs at the end. Let's do them at the beginning this time because we have plugs. I'm at Nate underscore Hoopstemple at TikTok. We've got an email. We want your emails, hoopstemple at gmail.com. Build up the email. We'll do some mailbag stuff. This is a terrible way to start pod. I'm starting over.
I don't know, man.
I kind of liked it. I was into it. You can just keep going and just edit this part out. No, keep going.
All right. Email us at hoopstemple at gmail.com. Joining me from Sacramento, we've got Aaron Schroeder. Aaron, what are your plugs?
Possible chairs on TikTok and this podcast all the time.
And we've got joining us from New Zealand, Dylan Williamson.
Hello.
Hello. What are your plugs?
Nothing at the moment, but maybe watch this space.
Watch this space.
Maybe that's
outer
a hint.
space.
He's pointing.
Oh.
I hope it lines up on your video as well as it does on mine.
That looks right.
I did try to do some of those
conversations.
I tried to do some of those AI like cut video things, like hey, load an hour of video, we'll give you 10 clips, and they cut everything weird, and so my like joke about being the only one that can grow a beard was off center, and I had to like realign it all. But hopefully it lines up good for you.
Yeah, you should just have like a unique flex as your like subtitle in each new video.
I like that you're doing first name up top and then like the tagline underneath, and Aaron's going the like username and then the personal name.
You do the thing by which you're best known, which for me is my actual name, but for Aaron it's this internet character that he has created.
That's true.
Of possible chairs.
I'm a caricature of a basketball fan online.
Well, speaking of caricatures and basketball fans and characters and all of that jazz, we've got some characters to rank as we are preparing our top 100 for next season. And I want to start off with a bit of a mea culpa, a bit of an apology. We fucked up. We put Brandon Ingram way too high. Can we readdress Brandon Ingram? I was so ready. I was ready. I pushed for it. I fought for it. I was like, Ingram, my guy. This is going to be the season of Ingram. And then it has not been the summer of Ingram. That is for sure.
And to make it worse, is I was always like an Ingram skeptic, and I was like, "No, I'm with you. This is right. It's time."
I'm pushing that we drop him from 20 down to 34, 35. I think 34.
Man, just with your tail between your legs in retreat. I wasn't here for that, but I'm glad you guys can have some reason, because I'm pretty sure I did mention that. Or I'm like, man, I'm really expecting a big year from Brandon Ingram.
You did.
Did you do a ranking of like your own individual ranking? Where did you have him?
I did. Let me just. I've been just editing that as we go. Let me look up the version history really quickly. Won't take too long. I had Ingram 29th.
Okay.
Yeah, mid-30s looks about right.
All right, I'm saying we're dropping him down between Drew and Mikhail and just sliding everyone else up one. I don't want to relitigate everything, but I feel like he's still better than Mikhail Bridges, even though the Olympics is showing us, or FIBA is showing us something slightly different. But I trust when the season starts, he'll be better than Mikhail.
Sure.
Yeah, you don't just want to quickly relitigate with the Davis Bertans should be in the top 30 as well?
No, but Jonas Valanciunas, he might be in this group. He might be in the 51 through 75 range.
Not if I have any say in it.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Okay, maybe too rosy. But who has a nomination for 51 then?
I'd like to get started. This is someone that we had 38th last season. The jump wasn't what we expected, but maybe in his junior season it might be a little bit better. It's Evan Mobley. Still great defensively, offensively, kind of flatlined from his rookie season to the sophomore season, but he's got to get better at this point. And I think 51 is an appropriate spot for one of the best defenders in the league.
Dylan, any thoughts?
I feel like I'm just so scarred by Evan Mobley that we're all like, yes, this is the fucking guy, and then he was kind of mediocre. I even feel like maybe some of the defense is overrated. Like he gets the benefit of the two big man thing, where like the defense always looks good, but that's also because Jared Allen's always there.
Fair.
He did take some steps up offensively. He's shooting a lot better this past season, and maybe that's just additional playmaking. Not that Donovan Mitchell passes a ton, but extra spacing, pulling in guys away from him. His field goal percentage went up fairly significantly. I was going to go for a different defensive candidate who was equally scarring. I had Rudy Gobert as the highest guy that we didn't get into the top 50. I know that this has not been a good look for him last year, the offseason, but it's just part of me feels like we've had several years of history of Rudy Gobert being a really good defensive player, and last year was kind of a weird season, new situation, new teammates, Cat being in and then being hurt just kind of threw everything off. I feel like a year together might be more of a bounce back thing.
I'd be totally fine with that. I had Gobert as the guy after that. I think I'd rather go for Mobley's progression than Gobert's regression, but Gobert is proven to be one of the best defenders in the league. Last year is really funky. Give it a second try. Probably better.
Dylan, of the two, who do you like more?
I'd probably go with Mobley just because I think that as much of what you're saying was true and that Gobert had to adjust to a new system and so on and so forth. I also do think that he just fell off and like he will probably continue to regress. He's just not the same level of athlete that he once was on defense. He's still big as hell. Like, he's still got like one of the longest wingspans of all time, so he's never going to be like totally inept as a rim protector. But yeah, I think that we're seeing the Rudy Gobert decline, and Evan Mobley still has Defensive Player of the Year upside.
All right, is there someone else you'd rather nominate?
For the sake of a cohesive pod, I think I'm good with it. Like, I don't want to be thrown out like all like the two-way wings.
We'll throw them out now. All right, we're locking in Evan Mobley at 51, Gobert at 52. Give me a two-way wing.
OG Anunoby was one of the best defensive players in the year last year. In the NBA last year.
Very true.
A very efficient shooter. Took small strides as a playmaker. Like, he's made noise about wanting to get more on-ball reps, which I don't think is great, but a guy that can put up points in the teens, can finish plays, shoots fairly well, and is, one of the best defensive players. Extremely versatile, can actually guard like some ones through some fives. I'm a big OG Anunoby guy.
I remember there being some serious buzz about like Defensive Player of the Year Anunoby with his league-leading steals per game and all that, but he ended up getting pretty banged up in the second half. Lost all momentum for that, and in a weird Defensive Player of the Year class, I felt like he still has that upside. And right now we're talking about three great defensive players, three guys that'll probably be in that conversation. If he can stay healthy and take a little more offensive responsibility, he could be even much higher than this. So I think I'm okay with that. It's a good spot.
Interesting. I kind of expecting you to make your Miles Turner case, so I know you like Miles. And then of the wings, I wasn't quite sure where the case was going to land or who was going to really make the push. If it was going to be R.J. Barrett, if it was going to be Scotty Barnes, if it's going to be Dorian Finney-Smith or Cam Johnson, because we got a lot of those like two-way wings that are probably not your number one offensive guy, maybe your number three offensive guy, but could do a lot on both ends of the ball. You're confident on OG?
I think it's probably the best one of this lot, like cumulative offense plus defense.
Okay. I'm
like
not...
he's not that much further than Andrew Wiggins, who we've already ranked.
That's fair. All right. So smooth pod so far. Evan, Rudy, OG. No one's throwing out anything too crazy.
What do you got, Nate?
My next guy up was Franz. I'm expecting a little bit of progression from him, but last season was already showing progression. And we're looking at 18.5 points against a game, 4 rebounds, 3.5 of assists. Also, I think Orlando is just going to continue to progress as a team. He's an efficient scorer, shooting him pretty good. So I think that there's a lot to like. And now that the rest of Orlando's weapons are continuing to develop, Paulo's continuing to develop, it's going to be a little bit easier for him in my mind.
He's really scary. I went to watching the Magic last year playing against the Kings. You couldn't stay in front of him, and he's huge. He's just this massive wing with tons of speed. And maybe this is more a Kings defensive issue, but he definitely scared me. I had him just a few spots down, so I'd be totally okay with this placement.
Well, what are the other candidates? Because I told Aaron this while we were waiting for you to jump on, Dylan. I was like, I got like 13 guys that I like, and then I had just been kind of throwing darts at where guys should be. And I was like, all right, these guys should be roughly around the 70 mark. And I ended up with like 31 guys in the 70 mark. And I was trying to bump some of them out and move some of them up. And I was just like, man, no, these guys could all have a case for being better or worse than each other. And like several of them have a shot at being an all-star. And that feels weird to say that I think the 70th best player could be an all-star, but it's just who takes the leap, who returns to normal. So it's like, what are some of the other names we've got here? Aaron, you said you got him behind a few guys. Who you got put him behind?
I had Derek White and Scotty Barnes, and my favorite pick in Josh Giddey.
Ooh,
I'm in, man. I'm all in.
That's a spicy meatball.
You don't have to be good at defense. If you're a 6'8" dude, then give me 8 assists. I'm just interested. I just think the Thunder are going to be really good when he's on the court.
I had all of those guys in my this is around the 70th best player there, like that dot. Dylan, who else do you have in this between 53 and Franz Wagner?
It definitely does get like very slim margins once you get to this range. I agree. There could be like 20 other dudes. I like Franz though. Franz is a good pick. Is everyone good with Franz? We just want to lock him in before we
locked in Franz.
We'll keep it easy and we'll move on. Like I feel like Franz might be the guy who the general NBA like sort of casual consensus really underestimates, like just how good this guy is. Like if you're not a such a sicko that you watch Orlando Magic games, then you may be surprised by this Franz Wagner ranking. But the dude is a freaking hooper, man.
That 21 draft is really looking like it's going to produce some guys. Do you guys listen to the Athletics Saturday Slam and Jam?
I do not.
So they did this thing last year where they looked back 25 years and they realized that every All-Star game, there are 6 first-time All-Stars. Or not everyone, but on average, over the last 25 years, there's 6 first-time All-Stars. And on average, one of those All-Stars is a second-year player. This past year was the first time that they haven't had a second-year player make that jump to All-Star in like the last 25 years. Maybe they said it happened once or twice outside of it. But so like in theory, we should have seen a Cade or a Jalen Green or an Evan Mobley or a Scotty Barnes or a Franz Wagner or a Josh Giddey. One of those guys should have hit All-Star level. I'm banking that was Cade and he just got hurt. But there's a lot of guys that could be knocking on that All-Star door from this class.
So go ahead, Don.
I was going to say, I wonder whether that gets affected a lot with increased longevity. Like maybe the reason that we didn't see those younger guys stepping up is that like all the old guys who would normally fall off didn't fall off.
There were
Not,
still
not that I can even remember who made the All-Star team last year, but I'm
LeBron
sure
has
there
been
were some old
hogging a
guys in there.
spot. LeBron needs
What-
to retire. He's hanging on for too long. He's breaking
They
up
need
all
to
of our
put term
stats.
limits on the
Yeah, seriously.
not just on US senators, but also on the NBA All-Star games.
Mm-hmm. You can only represent so many times.
There were still 6 first-time All-Star selections in this last game.
Who were they?
Oh gosh, now you're asking me hard questions. Why you gotta ask me the hard questions? All right. All-Star, not Satar, star. I can type. I'm good at that thing. Lowry Markkinen, Tyrese Halliburton, Jaren Jackson Jr., Anthony Edwards, De'Aaron Fox, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Actually, that's 6.
Can't really argue with those either.
No, and they're on the younger side. I mean, Laurie Markkinen's probably the only one that's been around the longest, but Halliburton, Shea, Fox, Jaren. It's a good young crew. All-Star future is looking bright. But that's not what we're here to do. We've locked in Franz at 54. There was a push for Giddey. Who else is there a push for?
I had Derek White above Giddey. I felt like he was in such a split backfield last year with Smart and Missoula's just desire to have Marcus Smart on the floor at all times. And now that it looks like White's going to have full-time responsibilities, he was really, really effective. He was really, really good and a huge part of their playoff run. And I think that leap, I don't know where we had him last year. I don't know if we had him at all.
Yeah, might have been
85.
We had it 85th. Yeah.
I like it. That's
Yeah,
not
it's a
bad
good
from us. We
jump.
did well.
Yeah, it's a good jump.
But yeah, I agree. Like he was so good that he like enabled the Celtics to trade the guy who was like their entire defensive identity. Like they could move Marcus Smart because they had Derek White, who was better than him, already on roster.
There are several other good point guards out here. I just
Wait, did I bring up Derek White in like the first episode that we did?
You did.
brought
Yeah.
him up way too fucking early.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to fight you
Who
too.
are the other point guards? Available?
So I mean, point guards. We got DeJounte Murray. We have the ghost of Chris Paul. We have CJ McCollum, and I put Jordan Poole in this category or this cluster.
I'm so not interested in any of those guys. I have them like around here. I talked about the DeJounte Murray last episode, like as like a fringe 50 pick, but I don't have CJ until the mid 60s. I don't have Chris Paul until the mid 70s.
Really?
I mean, Chris Paul's like 900 years old. I love Chris Paul. I thought honestly that I was gonna be like the first guy to mention him at like 75.
I think running the bench in the Golden State system, we could see people be like, "Oh my God, we thought Chris Paul was washed." I'd be like, "Well, no, it's just it's a lot easier now. He's got really good offensive weapons. He's got a much less responsibility. If things aren't going well, he goes to the bench. Like you're able to protect him a lot more. So I feel like this could be a bounce back year. And then my Jordan Poole case was kind of the opposite of like it's Jordan Poole's team. I mean, it's him and Kuzma. And I know Seth Partnow released his top 125 and left Kuzma out of the 125. And I'm just like, that is ludicrous. Like,
yeah, that's kind of nuts.
Like, but I think Poole is going to be better.
I can see it. I don't really know what he does well. Now that there's no risk that he's going to be on my team, I can bash on him. That was a real possibility. I had to be really nice to him. He's a big wing that scores inefficiently on a shitty team. And you're like, okay. I think you can see him in a championship role. You saw it on the Lakers, but that team was like a really limited 3-and-D player.
He was the third best on a championship team.
Bullshit he was. Don't give me that.
Bullshit.
But you say it's Davis and it's LeBron and it's a pile of garbage.
Do not disrespect two-time NBA champ Kentavious Caldwell-Pope.
And it's an ocean. And then it's all there. It's Rajon Rondo and Dwight Howard and KCP and Kyle Kuzma and Danny Green. And they're all as good as each other. And don't give me that.
All right, maybe
LeBron and Davis were top 5 players that year, and the rest are in the gutter.
And I will give Dylan that it's probably Kentavious as number 3, and then Kuzma at number 4, or for that championship run. Danny Green was also really good. All right.
He's
All
there.
right.
They're all just as good as each other.
Rondo came out of nowhere to be good after like being a terrible player for just like 3 straight seasons. He's like, I'm just gonna try out of nowhere.
That team had a surprising amount of depth, and like
Yeah.
Dwight had his like series, and then JaVale. Did you see Dwight? Dwight just posted on TikTok being like, "Hey, remember in 2020 when I shut down Jokic?" And we're like, "No, no, I don't remember that, Dwight. You helped. You
He
were
was important
decent.
in playing, yeah.
Yeah, you were a nice body to throw out of like for 15, 20 minutes, but like
Yeah. Him shutting down Jokic was like, just go be big for 10 minutes and then you'll foul out and it's okay.
I think he averaged like I think it's 5.5 fouls per 36 in that playoff run.
Let me see.
That's what he's there for.
Yeah. All right. Too much sidetracking. And if you guys want, if you want Derek White, I'm writing him on the thing, but I don't like it.
Please.
I don't
I
like
like it. Celtics shit. Nate and his fucking Celtics issues. Sorry, per 36 minutes, Dwight Howard averaged 7 fouls per game in that playoff run.
Is that a lot?
That's enough to foul out every game. Per regular minutes, 50 was 15 minutes a game and 3 fouls. I mean, he was just fucking hacking out there.
All right. So we got 5 players ranked. Good job, guys. It's been 20 minutes.
Thank you. My next nomination is Scotty Barnes. Same thing with Franz. Take that leap. I think with Van Vliet gone, you're going to see some more ball handling responsibilities. I think he's capable of it. He's still a really intriguing, like all around, almost two-way player that can affect the game in a lot of ways.
You know when you gamble and you're like, I don't quite know which team to bet for, so you end up just betting on the one team with good odds, and then the odds shift, and you're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna bet on the other team now because now I'm gonna do that. I feel like that's what we're doing with Scotty Barnes and OG, and we're like, listen, we just bet on them both to win. One of them will succeed, and the other one will fail. And like, hey, it's a 50-50 split.
Is that how gambling works? But then you just lose no matter what if you do that?
Yeah, kind of. It's a bad strategy, but
put it down. Scotty Barnes, 56.
56. If no one's gonna fight it, all right.
Yeah.
Wait, Nate, did you want to fight it, Nate?
No, but I'd like to make a case for the next guy since we're in a pretty agreeable mood. I don't know what you guys drank or smoked before this pod, but it seems like everyone's pretty loosey-goosey and pretty happy go lucky.
We know that we've got to split these tiny hairs of like player 50 through 80 being like all pretty comparable. And we've got to agree on them, so
I would like to make a case for Aaron Gordon.
Okay. I like that a lot better than Scotty Barnes.
Man. What is wrong with you guys?
Gordon, we've seen Gordon do it. We've seen Gordon be the big wing. And I also just think, like, if he was in a different situation, sure, and we might be able to argue that he shouldn't be this high. But he's just in the perfect fucking situation where him and Jokic, that passing, that playmaking, like he's going to be just the recipient of so many off-ball cuts, and he can just focus on defense, and the offensive game will come to him. I think this is a really good spot for him.
Yeah. If you go bring up Aaron Gordon's Orlando numbers, they're probably, off the top of my head, they're probably like very similar to what Scotty Barnes just did. And so I feel like if you want a low-level guy to take more responsibility, like he could do that. But if you want a guy who's one of the best big wing defenders and complements, Jokic so well that he broke everything that I thought I knew about how teams win championships. Still an efficient offensive player like Aaron Gordon here.
Over Scotty?
Yeah.
Yes, 56. Scotty's 57.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take it. Scotty does. I mean, he averages more assists. He's up to 5 assists per game. Gordon gets like 3.5 assists. But no, I see it. I didn't have Gordon much further down, so I'll take it.
Rui Hachimura.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Is that a joke?
No.
Yes,
Josh.
it was. I needed someone to say "fuck you." I was getting close to saying it for Derek White, but okay, all right, good. Making sure you guys have a pulse, just checking.
Yeah. It's
Alright.
It's time for Josh Giddey.
We've got to agree on someone. Let's throw him in.
You can't hold off any longer. Josh Giddey is like 6'10", and he'll average 8 assists per game.
I'm okay with it. Dylan, are you okay with it?
No, but we'll do it anyway.
What's the anti-Giddey case?
Yeah, give us someone else then.
Can we get some Porzingis love?
I had him one spot back.
You tried this before.
Yeah, like 20 spots ago, and now it's time.
It's the foot, man. I just don't. I think he may play like 30 games this year. I'm okay with him, but I feel like Brook Lopez should be higher.
Yeah, you did a better job convincing me on Miles Turner or with your case. I'm down for Turner over Porzingis.
Oh, we didn't lock Turner in?
No, Turner's not been locked in.
He's still floating around.
All right. Are you guys good with Turner?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Giddey then Turner or Turner then Giddey?
Let's do Turner then Giddey.
All right.
Fine.
And then I can be talked into Porzingis. I don't trust Porzingis' health. I feel like 60 health wise, like great. We had him at 90 last season. He bounced back really strong. I think this is also going to be the most depth around Porzingis from the big man position. So it's probably going to be the least asked of him, potentially. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if he gets his role diminished. Yeah.
I think the Wizards are where you go to get your stock back up. You're like, see, guys, I can average 20 points per game. But it was a pretty good Porzingis season. Like, he shoots really deep threes and defends the rim pretty well.
23
and he figured out how to post up as well.
That's true. It's a multi-layer. Well, he's so much bigger. I look back at like 2016, 2017 Porzingis, and he is so frail and just so agile. And now he's more like Sean Bradley mobility, but he all of a sudden has this offensive skill set.
Hey, if Sean Bradley could hit threes, the NBA wouldn't know what hit it.
That's true. He's huge. He's what is he? What's Kristaps listed like 250? His bones are dense, man.
240 on Basketball Reference, but I feel like you weigh in once and that just doesn't get updated. Like,
is that why Giannis weighs the same as Kevin Durant?
Yeah. All right.
Kevin Durant's bones are made of fucking lead.
Nowadays, he came in as a rookie. He was like what, 190, 195. Just
when they replaced his Achilles, it was made of pure uranium. It just weighs him down.
Adamantium. Turn him into Wolverine. No, because he keeps breaking still.
That's true. Okay, so we have Kristaps at 60. Is Brook Lopez at 61 acceptable? Oh, wait, we did Miles Turner, Giddey, Kristaps, Brook Lopez?
I'll read you what we got. 51, okay. We've got Evan Mobley. 52, Gobert. OG Anunoby, Franz Wagner, Derek White, Aaron Gordon, Scotty Barnes, Miles Turner, Josh Giddey, Kristaps Porzingis. We've basically gone bigs who can play
have
defense,
some two-way ability. Yeah.
Two-way ability, or the really young guys that might make a leap this next year.
Okay. My nominations are Brook Lopez or Nick Claxton.
Ooh.
Come on. Fight me.
So I want it to be Nick Claxton. Like, not saying that I'm voting for him. I want Nick Claxton to have this season and be good, because there was the time where it looked like he might be Defensive Player of the Year. And then the trades happened and felt like he kind of fell off a little bit. Pulling up the numbers to see if that's true at all. Pre-post trade, he's pretty much the same. Field goal percentage took a decline. I don't know. I'm not quite ready to commit to him just yet. And then your other name, Brook Lopez. I'm scared that Brook is just he's getting old. Like, I like Al Horford too, but I'm like, do I really want to bank on Al Horford again? at this age.
Al Horford's got to be older than that, older than Lopez, isn't he?
Maybe about 2
And
years.
the thing with Lopez is like, who knows what he's gonna add another skill. He's gonna start dribbling. I'm just not worried about how Brook Lopez is gonna age at all because he's just fucking gigantic, and he can shoot threes. Man. It's not like he's this crazy athlete. He defends the rim at a really high level, and he can shoot over people.
This was his highest scoring and most rebound season since he left Brooklyn at age 34.
See, who knows what he's got in the tank?
He doesn't age, man.
Oh, man.
He's going to start running fast breaks now.
Can we get Jordan Poole in there? Poole is going to be the number one option for a team. I know it's a very low grade number one option, but like he's going to have the ball.
Why not Kuzma?
Do you want to make the case for Kuzma?
I don't. I think the Wizards are going to win 21 games, and I think it's going to be really bad.
Can I try to dangle someone that you might have more bias for in front of you to get you off of Jordan Poole?
I know you want to give me Austin.
If we're winning basketball games, don't you want Austin Reeves over Jordan Poole?
I do. Yeah, I will. There's no way I'm taking Poole over Reeves.
Okay, can we do Reeves then here? Reeves at 61? Where even is Reeves? There he is. I don't want to be the hometown bias guy. I don't want to fight for it.
I'd rather you push Lakers players and just shit on Celtics ones all podcast.
I don't just shit on Celtics ones, just the ones I just like. You want me to make a Svi Mikhailuk? You want me to make a case for Svi Mikhailuk? So I'll make a case for goddamn Svi Mikhailuk. He knocked Luka out of the playoffs. Those 2 games.
My goodness. Okay, so if we have Reeves at 61, can we do Tyler Hero at 62? He's still alive. I know he got hurt and the Heat managed to still make the conference or the finals, but he is still good at basketball. I promise.
Can I give you a guy that you brought up last time that I shit all over, but maybe now is the right time?
Sure.
DeJounte Murray. Can we get him above Tyler Hero?
All right, I'll take it. Yeah. I was waiting on you guys because
if you want mediocre offensive creation, at least like he's a little bit better of a defender.
I was clearly so out of the loop on DeJounte Murray that I'm like, I'm just not going to mention him again.
Yeah.
You guys are better off at whatever he's up to.
Okay. You guys are going to hate this, but hear me out. Hear me out. DeAndre Ayton has a bounce back year. He's got guys taking care of all of the offense. He's shown in his FIBA play that he's looking good. It's not the actual FIBA tournament. It's the like pre-Olympic qualifiers that he's playing in right now, leading in the Bahamas, anchoring the middle offensively and defensively. Maybe there's a maturity factor. Maybe there's an experience. He's going to be 25.
I don't think DeAndre Ayton's that good. The thing with the center position is he's going to give you like 18 and 10, but his defense isn't very good. And at that point, I'd rather have Nick Claxton, who is good on defense, who's really good on defense. And I can find the 6 points per game elsewhere. I'd rather have that defense and the effort, because it's not like Ayton is a great passer and he's not like a fantastic scorer. It's like I'll exchange the 6 post-up points per game or whatever the hell for all the effort and good defense. What's Ayton good at? What's he specializing in? Like, because you have to be like, if you're not good on defense, you have to be otherworldly on offense.
He's not. He is good on defense. He is good on defense.
Not really. He's okay, and his effort's shitty.
It's the shitty effort. It's when he puts forth the effort, he's really good on defense. We just haven't always seen it because his effort level is tied to his offensive touches, and if he's getting yelled at by Chris Paul, which, to be fair, if I'm getting yelled at by Chris Paul, my performance might suffer. And now that I'm not being yelled at by Chris Paul, I might perform better.
Dylan, what do you think?
I'm also out on DeAndre Ayton. But
Okay.
let's do Claxton.
63, Claxton. I do really like Claxton. I hope that he makes this rating look good. Because he is a guy that I like. I'm not certain that he's going to be able to do this because it's a lot easier to be just I'm really good at defense when I've got Kyrie and Kevin Durant there. And when you don't have them there, the team was not good. I worry about
He led the league in
that.
field goal percentage last year. I mean, he still has like elite around the basket, like rim running potential, lob threat stuff. And I can find 6 points elsewhere. I'm just really not interested in the Aiton experience.
Yeah, you'll get 6 additional points by like Nick Claxton actually defending the rim. Whereas DeAndre Ayton's 7'1" and massive end allows 68% shooting at the rim.
The field goal percentage and that rim running ability dropped off pretty significantly. We're looking at 72% field goal pre All-Star break, 66 post. Just the easy splits to find. And
it's not that crazy.
I mean, it's not that. It's 66 is still good, but like, you do see it post that trade. Like,
it's a tumultuous season.
Yeah, Mikal Bridges isn't the pick and roll maestro that Kyrie Irving was.
You don't have pick and roll maestro?
Chris Paul,
Ben Simmons. And I'm not nominating him. I'm just saying he's gonna open the floor up for.
Are you believing in the Ben Simmons comeback here?
I think he should be on the top 100. I feel like if we could sneak him into like in the 90s, I think that's totally fair.
No.
But I just want to know where the defense stands on a Ben Simmons Nick Claxton pick and roll. Like, is it in the rim? Is it is it behind the stanchion?
It's in the baseline.
I mean, you just stand in between Claxton and the rim, and that's what you do.
You double team Claxton.
Yeah.
You double team the roll man. You just ignore Simmons with the ball and double team the roll man.
You put one guy between Claxton and the rim, and one guy between Simmons and the 3-point line, whoever he's going to kick out to.
This is where the Vivek cherry picking actually comes into play, because when Ben Simmons is on offense, you actually don't have to guard him at all, and so you could have a guy back.
Oh God! All right. So some of the names we've thrown out: C.J. McCollum, Jordan Poole, DeAndre, and Chris Paul. Did you say Tyler Hero earlier?
I said Hero. My top guys on my board are Brook Lopez and Tyler Hero.
I'm fine with Brook at this point.
Yeah. Thanks,
like
guys. Brook. Appreciate it.
I'm worried about the age. Any love for Cam Johnson?
Who?
Cam Johnson? I'm throwing out names here. Just
I honestly did not remember who that was for a second.
Can we get Jeremy
Grant? Name.
I seriously.
Ooh, Jeremy Grant.
Can we get Jeremy Grant, who's better on both ends than Cam Johnson?
Man, where do I have Jeremy Grant? Did I forget Jeremy Grant?
It's one of the guys I have.
Okay, that's actually that was my guy after Lopez and Hero. So yeah, totally fine. Yeah.
All right. I mean, there could be a Jeremy Grant Tyler Hero combo this year.
Man,
how many games is that team winning?
How many do we say for the Wizards? 21.
They're better than the Wizards.
So probably like 22, 23.
I don't know. They're playing in the Western Conference. It's a tougher conference. You got that conference divide. You might.
Yeah. Oh man, I saw a TikTok today. They were saying a dude like predicting the standings and whatever for the Western Conference. And he had the Clippers as the 10 seed, and I was like, no fucking way. And then like all the teams above them, I was like, wow, the West is actually fucking stacked.
Yeah.
It's tough, man. It's tough out here. So we have Grant at 65.
Yep.
And Lopez at 64. Okay. Still on the board for Tyler Hero. Mike after that was Walker Kessler.
This feels high for Walker Kessler.
The Nick Claxton tier.
Yeah.
CJ McCollum as well, if you're interested.
Yeah, let's throw out all the rest of those guards that are like kind of good but aren't exciting. So like the Hero, the CJ, the Chris Paul. Who else did we have?
Just looking at my list, there's also a Jalen Green in here. There is Marcus Smart in here.
Klay Thompson.
Mike Conley. I don't know if you want to call him a guard, but Josh Hart.
Had him around. Did you want
Buddy,
to do CJ for 66?
I think CJ at 66 makes sense. I mean, he does what he does very well. There will be
Yeah.
possessions where him and Valanciunas run a little bit of two-man game. He will space for Ingram and hopefully Zion. Hopefully. And I mean, he can do some ball handling, but he's not going to be like a primary creator. Would he get 5.5 assists last game or last season, 20 points per night? I think this is the spot. I think, he's not going to be your number 2 guy, but if he's your number 3, that's probably pretty solid.
I'm in. Where did we have CJ last year?
36.
How are you faster than me? I'm literally on the page. I can literally type that.
I used a
You said that
VLOOKUP, and his name is right next.
You said that before my computer loaded. Like I had it already typed in.
Yeah.
I think that's a good drop for CJ. He's getting a bit older. He's a smaller guard. Last year was quite a down season. Really tough start for him. But
I don't know that they call it a down
effective
season for him. I mean, still like 20 points per game and 6
Yeah,
assists. Like that's
what's
a
20
solid
points
down
at this
season.
point? Yeah, that is a solid down season. It speaks to how good CJ's been. But it's 20 points per game. It ain't the same anymore, man.
No, it's not. But could I offer you 17.4 points per game?
Sure.
Michael Porter Jr.?
Whoa.
So, I mean, MPJ, I don't think we're ever going to see the scorer that we expected him to be. But during the playoffs, he was really hustling on defense, really trying. It looked like that side had kind of clicked. And like kind of the same with Markkanen. I don't trust either of them as defenders, but they use their length really well to recover. And if they're in a good defensive scheme and system, they're positive defensive assets at this point. So we've got one of the best floor spacers, catch and shoot, quick trigger guys, and a not negative defender. I feel like this is a good spot for him.
Honestly, I had him a bit lower, but that was a long time ago. Now I realize that when I made the back end of this list, and in the playoffs, he's super tall and he's a turret on the 3-point line. He's an absolute dead eye on catch and shoot threes. Go ahead, Dylan.
What he said.
Playoffs was actually a little bit rough shooting for him, dropping down to 35% from 3, but 41 over the course of the regular season, career 42% 3-point shooter. Like,
and you still get the gravity effect because like you can't be like in his general vicinity. Like you need to be like in his jersey or he's gonna shoot it anyway.
Because he's so fucking tall.
Yeah, and like he doesn't care if you're closing out. Like he doesn't even. All he sees is the rim and the ball in his hands.
Yeah. At this point, I do feel like Tyler Hero. I know Aaron said the name like 20 times. I don't love Hero, but similar case. I mean, he's a flamethrower. He's going to shoot. He's going to jack shots. I don't know where he's going to end up, which makes me a little bit nervous. I just don't like the lack of knowledge of his role.
We can always come back. He hit a game winner against the Kings where he traveled first. That's what I know about him. Just
that's the only game. That's the only Tyler Hero play that you saw this season.
Okay, it wasn't that bad. He definitely traveled, but he traveled to like a slow-mo camera's eye. Like there's no way you're calling that in real time. So I was mad about it, not because he traveled, but because the Kings should have won that game like previously. Like we made dumb mistakes prior to that.
Could I ask you if you guys are on a bad team, which is where these guys are probably going to be next year, would you rather have Jordan Poole, Tyler Hero, Anthony Simons, or Jaden Ivey?
If I'm trying to win games with my bad team, then Tyler Hero.
Yeah, I agree. I think, if you're trying to win games on a good team, Tyler Hero is still pretty good at that. Poole showed he could do that, and then was awful last year. Was just really, really terrible.
They're all at like, not Ivy. Ivy's a little bit less, but the other 3 are all 20 points per game and between 4.1 and 4.5 assists. Like it's the same basic numbers. There's for them all. They're all 44 to 43% field goal. Poole actually has the worst 3-point shooting the lot, but they're 33 to 37% 3-pointers. It's a really close case for all of these guys.
I'd rather have Walker Kessler. Dude's massive. He's huge. Just stick him under the basket, and he defends the rim, and he's not that bad in space.
And he's also, I heard that he's also like a really good guy. Like you can trust your girlfriend in a club around him.
That's true. You can. He's very respectful. He only played 23 minutes per game last year, which is pretty low. But I feel like the Jazz didn't even really know what they had for a second, where it's like, whoa, like this guy's actually, you can totally play him like all the time.
Yeah. And also they may have tried to limit him like down the stretch, but like, hang on, we can actually get our draft pick a little bit better here.
So it's a combo of a slow start and getting shut down at the end. But in the middle there, it's like, oh man. And if the Jazz are interested in doing that, he also has an offensive rating of 140. So if you need him to score, he can clearly do that a lot.
If you give him the ball,
so he's the best offensive player in the league.
I saw this thing,
guys.
I saw this thing about it was just an either or on TikTok. It was, do you think Wemby's going to average over 20 points, or do you think he's more likely to average over 20, or do you think he's more likely to average 2.5 blocks? And anybody who's a draft guy was like, listen, 2.5 blocks is crazy. No one's averaged 2.5 blocks as a rookie. Like that doesn't happen in the last 25 years. And there was a couple that we found, like Embiid or Mitchell Robinson. But Walker Kessler, post All-Star break, he's averaging 28 minutes a night, and he's averaging 3.3 blocks per game. Like when the minutes went up, Walker delivered. So I don't hate it. You want to lock him in at 69?
Please.
Yeah.
In a game again. Go ahead, Don. Sorry.
He's already one of the best rim protectors in the league. Like when he was, I've got the number here. When he was on the floor, opponents shot just over 60%. 60% sounds high, but at the rim, guys shoot a lot higher, and so 60% is actually really low. That's 96th percentile.
Man,
which is elite. He's better than 96% of centers at defending the rim.
And
against the bruising Kings defense, he had a 31-point game. No, it's tough to get over those guys. The center position is stacked in Sacramento, but he did it. 14 of 16 shooting.
All right. So that means we've got 6 spots left. Dylan, who are your 6 guys left, or 6 highest on your board?
I still have faith in CP3, who I tried to sneak in there before that no one else went for. Got one more two-way wing in Bojan Bogdanovic. And I want to tempt you. Okay.
Which way?
You got me there. I tried to sneak it on you.
Two-way. He can beat you with the 3-point shot and with the post up. Two-way.
And then Clay is still a flamethrower who like is still fairly good at defense. Like he has to guard up a position now. Like he's dropped off a little bit. And then I want to try to tempt you with a young guy. Can you guess who it's going to be?
You're making the case for Wemby.
I thought we were excluding rookies. I was making the case for Jalen Williams on the Thunder.
Yeah, that was my next guy. Let's do it. I'm in, man. I had Jalen Williams. Guys that I had shared with Dylan were Jalen Williams, Clay, and Chris Paul.
I had all of those guys in my 30-person 70 cluster. Chris Paul was the highest that I had left. I made the case earlier for the bounce back season for Chris Paul. I think he will figure out a way to contribute and be a useful player to this Warriors team.
He always does. Like even last year where he had quite a drop off in efficiency, the defense fell off. Like statistically, he was still making a positive impact. Like he finds ways to to help your team.
Can we do Chris Paul, Williams, and then Clay? Just 70, 71, 72?
Yeah, I think that
Great.
that's real nice. Although I do just want to read you these Jalen Williams post All-Star game in break stats. Hello, Sasha. Good to see you here. Can you be quiet?
I do want to talk about, when we have the chance later, where we would have put Wemby if we had rookies. But we'll get to that. Don't let me forget.
All right. Post All-Star break. Sorry, my dog came in. She's a cute baby. I love her. Post All-Star break, 18.6 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 64% true shooting, a plus 13 net rating. Do we want to put him over Chris Paul?
I'm down. That's how I had it.
Let's do it.
All right.
Like, he's only going to get better too. That was his rookie season. He's got size to like be a defender as well. He can create a shot, scores efficiently.
He's playing center in the playing game against Minnesota, right? Was it like they traded Muscala, but they ended up walking into the plan anyways, and it's like, oh man, like we actually don't have a center. Like we got rid of that guy.
It's because Kenrich Williams got hurt. He's their center. They're 6'6", stretch 5.
Yeah. All right, guys, enough fucking around. Next nomination is a guy that'll give you 40% shooting from 3 with 6 attempts per game, maybe 7 attempts next year. You guys interested? Sounds like a pretty good player, right? It's Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray has to be on this list. He's one of the best catch and shoot guys in the league. He moves off ball really well. He is not a defensive liability. If Klay Thompson is here, I think Keegan will be better than him, but I'm willing not to make that argument because you guys will fight me tooth and nail.
Yeah, they're pretty similar level of player, so I'm good with it. He's clearly a starting caliber NBA player who is a really good movement shooter, which is a very valuable skill.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it makes like he's in this cluster of guys. Absolutely. It just.
Yeah. Like there's a couple guys I'd have above him, but they're the guys that are going to be hard for me to sell.
Could we maybe talk
if he was
about
a Laker,
Josh
we would
Hart?
have talked to him. Yeah, Josh Hart's good, but not better than Keegan Murray. If Keegan was a Laker, he'd be like 30th, and they would have brought him up in like the beginning of the first pod.
If he was a Laker, he'd be Kyle Kuzma from like 4 years ago.
That's not
true. People would be saying he's a future All-Star.
Let me see what Kuzma did on the Lakers. If he was a Celtic, Nate would have brought him up in a few weeks. Kuzma on the Lakers.
What?
No,
Kuzma, I argued for Tatum higher.
Kuzma on the Lakers in the 2020 was 25 minutes a game and 13 points, 31% shooting from 3 on 4 attempts. It just wasn't the same.
I keep bringing up Al Horford, but no, I'm the Celtics hater. We're gonna.
Okay, so we have Keegan at 74. Who's your guys' 75th?
I have a name that I don't expect you guys to take, but
yeah, me too.
I kind of want to throw it out there as a teaser. Also, who did I forget to write down? We got Jalen, Chris Paul, Clay. Who's after
wait,
Clay?
No, sorry. We have 2 spots left.
Okay, so I was like, man, I couldn't imagine that I missed too many names. All right, where's Murray? Murray. There he is. Okay. So this name is not going to be accepted, I know, by you guys. But over the last 10 games of the regular season, he averaged 24 points per game, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and is expected to get a pretty decent jump up in minutes. I'm looking at Shaedon Sharpe.
I think it's interesting. I think the ceiling's high. I'd rather him be like a top 5 player in 5 years. Like I could bet on that than a top 100 player next season. He's going to fly around the court. He's going to do a lot of cool shit. He's going to make a ton of mistakes. He's going to not be good on defense and turn the ball over like 8 times a game and probably shoot. I mean, if I said he shot 42% from the field, would you guys go over or under on that next season?
Over 40% from the field.
42.
Yeah. If he's
Dylan? Feels like a 41 guy to me. Feels like a 40.5.
I think he's a little bit better of a finisher than your typical low efficiency scoring guards. But I do just want to say that stretch that Nate brought up where he was putting up some really good numbers did also coincide with a time when Portland were trying to lose every single game, and they did succeed in that. And so, like Aaron, I'm a big fan of what he will eventually be. Like, I do think he has future all-star kind of potential, but just not quite yet.
And that's why I bring him up. I just want the name out there. I want the conversation started.
Okay. It's a good conversation.
A more serious take, though, would be Josh Hart and what he can bring to a winning team, and that hustle and that energy, the defensive impact, the not just winning 50-50 balls, but winning 30-70 balls, as Steve Kerr says, just not against Lithuania, apparently.
My next guy is KCP. And don't you just feel like KCP is a similar kind of mold of Josh Hart, but he's better because he's a more versatile defender and a better shooter, a more consistent shooter. I think Josh Hart had a uncharacteristically good season last year. Once he got to the Knicks, he just started taking and making a bunch of threes, which maybe if that settles down, KCP will knock down shots, he can attack a closeout, and he's a good defender. Proven championship player, has been a starter and a closer on two different iterations of a championship team.
I like the two nominations. I think it's good. I think for 74 and 75, because after this, we're still leaving we have the ceiling of a guy like Simons or a guy like Jalen Green, but I think I'd rather just take KCP. He's going to be a great 3-and-D player, and I have no idea what Jalen Green's going to be.
Okay. So KCP at 74, Josh Hart at 75, or was there someone else you want to argue? Maybe like a Lou Dort or a Dorian Finney-Smith. I mean, I could tell you my list of guys that I charted in for this roughly 70-ish range is so many guys. You could make a case for Mike Conley.
My next guy, good. My next guy actually was Kyle Kuzma. Ironic as it's been, but I think he was 20 points per game last year. It's pretty good. But I think this is the perfect crossover. Go ahead, Don.
Do you know who's going to average 20 points this year and was all defensive last year?
Dylan Brooks.
Dylan Brooks.
Yeah.
I
mean, you're not wrong.
I love how you two both just have the same reaction. I'm just yeah.
No, Dylan Brooks is good. I'm curious what that kind of volume is going to do to his efficiency.
Not good things.
Probably not
what
good
efficiency?
things.
What efficiency already? You think it's going to get worse?
I think it's going to get worse.
Aaron, under 40% from the field last season.
Under again. I'll take under 38. He's gonna be the first guy since Joe Fulks to shoot 37%.
God, he's gonna shoot when people joke around about Westbrook shooting. They'd be or think Iverson shot. Westbrook. It's so bad.
I was gonna make a do you think he'll be the lowest true shooting on any guy that has his usage next year? But Westbrook would have.
Do you guys think Westbrook will make our top 100?
No.
I feel like I could be talked into the late 90s, almost an honorable mention.
Westbrook was a good player.
Yeah, I think so. I kind of like the redemption arc because last year I made a billion videos about how he wasn't in the top 100 and hey, Westbrook actually fucking sucks now. Sorry guys. But I felt like that was really a Lakers issue, and I thought that was more of a Westbrook issue than it was. It's actually LeBron's fault.
Do you want me to just read the next 40 guys I've got over Westbrook?
Not particularly.
I'll do it.
Not particularly.
I'll do it.
I do have our dishonorable mentions saved, or I guess I made that. No, my dishonorable mentions were Russell Westbrook, Christian Wood, DeAndre Ayton, Jordan Poole, and Ben Simmons.
God, we were so
I
right
don't know why.
about that.
I don't know why. No, I guess I wrote that. I wrote that at some
Okay,
point when I first made this.
you were so right about that.
Yeah.
All right, I do feel better about Kuzma over Hart for 75. So KCP at 74, Kuzma at 75.
I like Hart better than Kuzma if anyone wants to take that.
Okay, we'll
No.
get rid of that.
Fuck you guys. Do the show. God.
So no Heart. We're gonna do KCP and then. This is great. We should do this every time.
Oh, fuck you guys. All right, and then we can come back and talk about Devin Vassell and Nikola Vucevic and Jaden McDaniels and Jalen McDaniels and Jonas
yeah.
Valanciunas. And
Bruce Brown, Blake Monk,
You
Caruso.
named some really unexciting players, but then the McDaniels is a guy. I can't even remember which one it is that I like. It's the one that's on the Timberwolves.
It's Jalen.
Yeah, Jalen. I
Would you guys
think
rather
he's going to
have
have a huge season.
Oh no, sorry, Jaden. I
God damn
can't.
All right, next season, Victor Wembanyama. We have Julius Randle at 44. Dylan, I'll pick on you. Would you rather have Wembanyama as a rookie or Julius Randle?
I guess like it depends on role, but probably Julius Randle for most teams
right.
if I'm trying to win games.
We have Van Fleet at 47. Victor or Van Fleet?
I mean, just for specifically next season, providing winning basketball, taking Van Vliet.
Okay, so we're probably looking at like OG at 53.
I mean, you could
lower still.
I don't know. I was gonna say like I'd accept he might come in and has instantly as much impact as Evan Mobley has had.
Yeah,
like
which is 51. Miles Turner 58. I could see that kind of impact.
Zach LaVine 49. I could see him being more impactful to winning than Zach LaVine.
Sure, I think that's kind of our window.
Where do we put DeAndre Ayton?
We didn't.
Haven't
okay, good. All right.
This is great. I like when it's not my team being picked on. Yeah, fuck the Suns, man.
All right, so just reading the list back. 51, Evan Mobley, Rudy Gobert, OG Anunoby, Franz Wagner, Derek White, Aaron Gordon, Scotty Barnes, Miles Turner, Josh Giddey, Kristaps Porzingis, Austin Reeves, DeJounte Murray, Nick Claxton, Brooke Lopez, Jeremy Grant, CJ McCollum, Rui Hachimura, Michael Porter Jr., Tyler Hero, Walker Kessler, Jalen Williams, Chris Paul, Klay Thompson, Keegan Murray, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Josh Hart.
Sounds good.
Nothing too egregious there.
I threw in Rui Hachimura and you guys didn't stop me.
Did you?
It's all about compromise, mate.
I was more focused on the Kuzma KCP bundle, but I was like, I don't even know what we agreed on that.
Yeah, I just got to thinking about Wemby versus Nick Claxton.
So what's the end there?
I threw his name in the middle. I did the right list. I just put him in, but I was like, after you guys didn't say anything or like object, I was like, fuck, should I throw in like Dennis Schroeder? I just couldn't read names and think of names.
Yeah.
At the same time.
So do we have Hart and then KCP?
You Hart then KCP? I said KCP then Hart, but I can flip that.
All right. No, that's fine. All right. Hart 75, Kuzma will be 76 when I get back. When we get back, make the argument for the RJ Barrett.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna figure out which McDaniels I like so I get his name right when I argue for him.
Jaden.
Is Marcus Smart still good? Is he still on this list?
I think Smart deserves to be here. I would still much rather have Smart than Russell Westbrook or
Kevin
Ben
Huerter
Simmons.
Hey.
I had Kevin Huerter in my list.
Damn, I'm gonna have to, for the first time in my life, I'm gonna have to argue for Russell Westbrook.
I'm ready to hear it. I'm gonna wait until
Ooh.
Dylan brings it up. I'm not doing it. I'm gonna make you do it.
I think that's our teaser. That's our stinger.
Yeah.
He's coming up next. He's better than Kyle Kuzma.
All right. Well, I know we started with plugs, but Dylan, where can people find you?
On the Hoopstemple podcast.
Aaron, where can the people find you?
Possible Chairs on TikTok. One word.
Perfect. You can find me here. Also, please email us at hoopstemple@gmail.com. We want to hear from you guys. Thanks.
We won't use your email to sign up to any spam. We won't sell your identity to the Chinese government for profit.
I've made no such promises. I will do that.
And now it's time to stop recording, gentlemen.
Have fun in the military. I'm sending you guys up. about to serve your 5 years.
I'm gonna sign you up for a Washington Wizards season pass.
I hate all of this.